All right, folks, this is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get the show started. Well, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We come to you each and every day, Monday through Friday, talk to you about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local. And we want to welcome you all today. It is Juneteenth. It's the federal holiday where we celebrate the actual the last group of people in America that the last enslaved people in America were actually notified that the Emancipation Proclamation had actually been signed literally about a year and a half earlier. And so we talked about this on Friday, which was very interesting. And over the weekend, I think there was a lot of discussion about Juneteenth. And is it a national holiday? Yes, it's an official national holiday, and we're very excited about it. And hopefully, folks, that this will be kind of a healing thing here in the United States, because over the last couple of years we've had some real turmoil, but hopefully this will be good. And I want to welcome you all to the show. For those of you, this might be the first time you're ever checking us out. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. Magazine comes out, quarterly. We're working on the July edition right now, even as we speak. It'll be out in about 2 weeks. And you still can actually get the current edition of Livin in Vegas magazine. Just go to our website at livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com. And we encourage you folks, get on our mailing list. We really encourage you. We're going to be doing some giveaways pretty quick. And the only way you're going to actually be able to get part of our giveaways is you actually need to be on our mailing list. And you can always do that. Just send me a note at info@livininvegas.com. That's info at livin. I guess I can put that up there. Let's put that up there. Info livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. Get on our mailing list. Or if you want to subscribe to our magazine, definitely be a subscriber to our magazine. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube right now, we encourage you to subscribe. Right, that little bell. Oh, it's over the side. Right there on that little bell right there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get updated every time we do something on the podcast. And so we're here pretty much every day. So you can actually assure that you're going to get an update pretty much every day about cool stuff that we're doing. And also, we produce a magazine called Livin Weekly Magazine. This is actually the current edition of Livin Weekly Magazine. And it was our Father's Day edition. For those of you who are fathers, we've got some gift ideas in the last issue, which is great. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's out right now. It is never too late for Father's Day, ever, never. I mean, you can do Father's Day all year long. Great gift ideas in here, and you can check that out. You can also go to livininvegas.com and check out and get to the Livin Weekly page too from there. And also there are some gift ideas. There's an article on Juneteenth on the whole thing. I mean, it tells about the whole thing about Juneteenth, and you can actually check that out. Okay. Do we need to pay some bills? I think we need to pay some bills here real quick. So let's pay some bills real quick, and then we'll be back in just a second. Okay. Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Yeah, folks, and welcome back. This is Sherman Ray. This is Livin in Vegas magazine, um, where we come to you each and every day and we talk about especially some of the things that have really shaped the city of Las Vegas. I mean, really, there's a lot of things we talk about every day, and you can check us out each and every day to talk about that. Tomorrow, to give you a heads up, tomorrow we're actually going to be showing um, the video that we did with Chris and Suzette Demery. They are the owners of GNC. At one time, they owned like seven of them. So you're going to be able to hear their story, which is real cool. So excited about hearing their story. And then I believe we're going to be doing the broadcast of our video that we did with um, John Ponder. So John Ponder, who's the founder of Hope for Prisoners. Many of you have heard our story about our relationship with John Ponder. We'll show the video. We did an interview with him a couple weeks ago, and we'll show that up. Everything's editing, always editing stuff all the time, and so we'll definitely show that in a couple weeks here. So let's talk a little bit about Juneteenth. So Juneteenth, folks, was actually officially Sunday, and today is actually a federal holiday where everything's closed today in observance of the day. And so let's do this real quick. So, one of the things that people don't understand is why we celebrate Juneteenth. And so, I'm going to tell you really quick, and this is probably one of the most important consequential things that has happened in American history. And then we'll talk about the article that happened this weekend. This is very interesting. So one of the things so Juneteenth. So the Emancipation Proclamation, 1863, signed January 1st of 1863 by Abraham Lincoln. Well, the many of you know, or you should know, that the Emancipation Proclamation basically stopped slavery to continue to expand into the new territories and began the process of ending slavery in America, even in the Union, where it was being battled right then and there during the Civil War. And that's the reason why the Civil War was being fought, because the South didn't want slavery to end. So that law that was signed into law by Abraham Lincoln took effect immediately, but not everybody knew about it. It was especially the slaves who were in Texas. The last part of Texas did not get the edict. They didn't get the announcement until a year and a half later. So it was on June 19th, 1865, that the people the slaves in Texas were found out about. So officially, the last people who knew about it were in Texas, and that's why we celebrate Juneteenth. And that's cause for celebration. I think it's a cause for celebration. So America, and so there's still a lot of debate. They're going, well, why, we do Black History Month, we do Juneteenth. Well, if anything to help healing of this country, is probably worth it. We could do it every day if you ask me. Just celebrate America continuing to the process of becoming the America, the land of the free and the home of the brave for everyone. So this weekend, kind of disturbing, tell you the truth. They've got a lot of companies that are taking advantage of the fact that there is Juneteenth by commercializing it, selling flags, banners, toothpicks, that kind of stuff. There was actually a Walmart. Oh gosh, this was terrible. There was actually a distributor, and where's that article at? Gosh, I was just looking at it because it was just infuriated me. They're selling ice cream, and one retailer sold. It's an Indianapolis Children's Museum removed a Juneteenth watermelon salad from its menu. Oh, and issued a mea culpa earlier this week. Okay, so folks, we got some work to do still. Still got some work to do. especially in Indianapolis. You probably should have never done that. And they said, oh, it was a lapse in judgment. It was an oversight. Okay, whatever. Uh, so, once again, uh, we let's celebrate America. Let's celebrate the good things that are happening in America, and we'll move forward. Many of you know. Let's go on to something else. Justin Terry, folks. Many of you know Detective Justin Terry died. It was almost 2 weeks ago now. That he was driving behind a construction truck who hit an overpass beam in the northwest side of town. The beam, which should have been secured, fell onto the car that was behind the construction truck, which Detective Terry was sitting in or was driving in. Killed him instantly. And so they're actually having a procession for him today. I believe, what time is it starting? Started 8:30, so it's going to actually start. It just started. Okay, started just at 8:30, and I believe they're live streaming it right now. We will try to break away to it a little later, and we'll do the because our show is being played right now during the procession. I know a lot of people are watching it, so but they have a route. The route is going to they're going to be going down Main Street. They'll be south on Main Street, west on Washington Avenue, south on I-15. They'll exit on Sahara, south to Las Vegas Boulevard, east to the 215. So they're way down at the south end of the valley, and north on the 95. They'll exit on Russell Road to the church where they're going to be out at Russell Road. So it's a big deal. It really is because who would have thought this was just a freak accident. They're still investigating what all this stuff that happened. Um, Justin had been a member of Metro for 21 years. He was assigned to the Sex Crimes Bureau, Sexual Assault and Abuse Section, and just just happened to be in the wrong place, the wrong time. Yeah, just bad things that happened. Um, we'll definitely link to that on our Facebook page. You can actually check that out. We'll actually put a link to it down below us, and you can actually view it a little later. Um, so this weekend, I went to. Oh, I guess I've never changed. Well, I'll leave it there. So if you'd like to get a hold of us, folks, once again, you'd like to be on our mailing list, or you would like to uh, get on our subscription list, definitely send me an email to info@livininvegas.com. It's info@livininvegas.com, and you can get a hold of us. This weekend, I went to a good friend of mine's birthday party, Daryl Alterwitz. You probably recognize the name. Daryl is one of the owners of Walker Furniture. So Daryl and I are riding buddies. And he's a beast. He rides like the wind. We have a good time. As a matter of fact, he and I and Russell. What's Russell's last name? I don't know what Russell's last name is. Russell's a banker. So we went riding. So it was Father's Day this weekend, of course, and it was Daryl's birthday though. So Daryl just turned 6. So we were hanging out at his house. Great time, fun to see some of the guys there. And then this weekend we were riding over at Red Rock on Sunday, and which was fun. Got up real early, got out there. The weather was just windy. But it was cool, that kind of stuff. So Russell, his wife Teresa, works for the NFL, and she did the event that they had over at Allegiant Stadium this weekend. And so you might be asking yourself, what event is that? Well, it's the Title IX event that they had, where they basically, Title IX law basically opened up, it was basically saying, hey, equal opportunity for women in sports, and it really opened up the door to the WNBA. And that's what the event was was a couple of days ago. And so Russell was talking about it, and he was, talking about the Aces, who we're not going to be able to talk about today, but they did win yesterday night. It was a great game. Watch the game; it was just a fantastic game. Um, and if you get a chance to watch the Aces, guys, just watch them. They are so competitive. They're so good. Kelsey Plum was on a tear last night. She almost got in a fight. Oh my, she's feisty. Man, that's a feisty little girl. She's feisty, and she got hacked one time, and she got up like Danny Tarkanian. She bowed up, and it was great. And everybody was like going, Kelsey, are you really going to do this? Are you going to hit somebody right now? And she was like going, kill ya. Her boyfriend Darren Waller probably was going, Kelsey, hey sis. Anyways, Title IX opened up the way to the WNBA. And so they were celebrating that this weekend. Russell's wife is the one who put on that event, which was cool. So he was asking about the Aces. And so I guess we're going to get all the guys now. So we have a writing group. We have a writing group of about 30 guys and women. And Russell has never been to the games. Daryl hasn't been to the games. I go, guys, Chip and I go to the games. Love going to the games. And Chip is my brother-in-law. Many of you have heard me speak his name before. As a matter of fact, he was supposed to be over this morning. But so Chip is a season ticket holder to everything. He's one of the head trustees over at UNLV, that kind of stuff, and he's a booster, all that kind of stuff. So back to Title IX, though. So Title IX, they were talking about it last night. One of the girls, as a matter of fact, what was the article? I got to get to the article here because it really is a great article. And then we'll end, folks, because if we don't, you folks won't be able to go get stuff done here today. I'm not going to be able to find it quick enough. One of the girls who is at UNLV now, or excuse me, not UNLV, but for the Aces now, was on that first WNBA team. And also, we've got a four-time Olympian who is on the team, who was on the women's team, the original women's basketball team, who's never lost now. We're doing great stuff. She's a part of the Aces too. And so we're deep. We're deep here. I guess with all that being said, we're very deep here in the state of Nevada when it comes to Title IX, the WNBA, women's basketball, the whole thing, women's sports. So, and the guys were asking me about it. They're going, hey, Sherman, do you like women's sports? I go, dude, I will probably change from a men's sports game to watch the women. That's how much I love watching women's sports. They're fun. They're excited. They're excited about playing. They get into it. I'm almost crying half the time because they are so into it. So last night we were watching something, and I was changing channels. It's Father's Day, so my wife is giving me the day to do whatever I want to do. And I saw that the Aces game was on. Oh, got to get to the Aces game. Got to get to the Aces game, and got to watch them. And once again, it was just fantastic. So on that similar note, though, folks, there has been many of you have probably heard about the transgender ban. It's an effective ban on transgender athletes participating, transgender females participating in women's sports. This is a big story. I mean, this is not a small story. This is a really big story about the. So the guy on top here, the woman on top, excuse me, I shouldn't say the guy on top. He likes to be called a woman. What has happened in the last number of years is men who are transitioning to females have been getting into women's sports. And as a result of that, women who have been a part of the sports landscape for years have basically just been getting their butts kicked because men are physically and anatomically, even if you're transgendering or you're transitioning to being a female from a male to a female, you still have the same muscle structure as a guy. So There was a article put out that said that the fastest female ever still is no faster than a 14-year-old male high school student, and that's just the difference in physiology. So so in Budapest, this is a very interesting article, as a matter of fact. Budapest, Hungary, the world swimming governing body has effectively banned transgender women from competing in women's events starting today. FINA members widely adopted a new gender inclusion policy on Sunday that only permits swimmers who transitioned before the age of 12 to compete in women's events. And basically, what they're doing is basically saying, look, we're not telling people to begin transgender or transitioning your little boy to a girl at 11 years of age. Heaven forbid we would ever say something like that, because there's laws against that, for one. And number two, there's some ethical things there. And, you know, face it, folks, most kids have no idea what they want to be. My kids are in their 40s. They don't even know what they want to be yet. And so for you to transition and, give hormone injections to a child at, 11 years of age is probably out of the question. So effectively, they're saying that if you have not started the transitioning process by the time you are at 12, you cannot participate in women's swimming events. And so they're really cracking down on this, because really it's an unfair advantage. It really is. And most transgender athletes, Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner, has basically come out and said, no, this is just wrong. As a matter of fact, Billie Jean King, who was at the event here in Las Vegas this weekend, said the same thing. They were going, no, there's just no way a woman is going to be able to compete against a male, because males are just bigger. We just have bigger bones, we got bigger muscles, we're bigger lung capacity, all the stuff. Okay, I'm not a doctor, but I played one on, so it is what it is. So that was this weekend, and it's just kind of the way it is. Anyways, folks, we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways coming up. We've got a magazine coming out for the July issue of Livin in Vegas magazine. If you would like to, we still have time for you to get into that magazine. Send me your information. Info. It's right below us here, okay? Right here below us. Info, livininvegas.com. Info, livininvegas.com. And become an advertiser. Become a part of the show. Become an underwriter for the show. We want you to be a part of livininvegas.com, okay? And we got so much more that's going on. So definitely want to be a part of it. Anyways, if you'd like to watch the rest of the show, go to our website, livininvegas.com. It's livininvegas.com. You can watch the rest of the show or other shows. If not, we will see you again tomorrow, or we'll actually have the interview that we have with Chris and Suzette Demery. Okay, so we'll see you again tomorrow, folks. This has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and events that shape the city of Las Vegas, folks. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. All right, folks, and we are back for the final 10 minutes or so of our show. For Livin in Vegas podcast. Thank you, folks, for being a part of the show, and thank you all for coming along on the ride. We've got still a lot of stuff. We probably will not get to all of it just because I talk so doggone much, but we'll try to do as much as we can and get this in. How much time do we got? Oh, a couple minutes. Crap. Let's talk about the Aces. Okay, and we'll jump right to that. Okay, let's talk about the Aces. So the Aces last night played against the Lynx. Okay, it was just Minnesota Lynx. What a game! So we got a picture of Kelsey Plum here for a good reason. So, because Kelsey Plum's a bad girl. I think she only came away with 21 points last night. Asia Wilson led all scorers with 25 points. But by far, folks, Kelsey Plum, who is our phenomenal point guard, was just all over it. She was driving the paint. She did everything she could, dishing, I think she had 6 assists, that kind of stuff, 4 rebounds, 21 points. But really, her biggest contribution was the her spunkiness, the spunky, thing that she did. At one point, she drove the lane, and I guess Minnesota got tired of her driving the lane, scoring points, so they hacked her, and they hacked her hard, and it was like she kind of did one of those ragdoll things, fell on the ground. She popped up from the ground like she was ready to kill somebody. Oh no, no, no! She was going to kill somebody, and she just got into this girl's face. She bowed up. Now Kelsey Plum is 5'8". I think she's 5'8". This other girl's got to be 6'3". and, and she looked down on Kelsey. Kelsey looked up at her like, "I'll bite your face off." Ah. And it was awesome. It was simply awesome. Everybody on the bench kind of went, "Oh dear Lord, is this going to be a bench clearing brawl thing?" Because Kelsey is on it, and so it was fantastic. So it was really a great game. Also, our Aviators, they won. They beat Tucson, and no, this is not Sports Hour today, but it is very incredible that our Aviators have been. So they beat El Paso 4-3 on Sunday, which was great. They're just on a tear too. Between the Aviators, the Aces, they're on a tear. Unfortunately, folks, the Nighthawks did not fare as well. So the Nighthawks played the Skulls or whatever they were called. Who are they? The Tucson. What are they called? The Sugar Skulls. Sugar Skulls. So they came up short, 39-32. Dang. Wow, we were so close. I mean, just so close. And so the Nighthawks are indoor football league, and they're just doing a fantastic job. They really are just doing some cool stuff. So we're very excited for them that they're out there just making it happen. And what are you gonna do? Also, folks, in the news, up at Mount Charleston, we got just a couple minutes left. I got 1 minute. I got 1 minute. Okay, good. Up at Mount Charleston. If you're living up there in Mount Charleston, their NV Energy conducts power outages up there fairly regularly now. It looks like I think this is going to be the fifth one they had, which was yesterday. If the wind gets up too much, if there's the drought conditions are just right, NV Energy says, "Look, we're going to shut down the power up there." So 470 customers who are up on Mount Charleston for 24 hours generally are experience power outages. So there was a guy who lives up there, and he said, "You know what, guys, come on. They've done it before. This is just kind of part and parcel what happens if you live up here. You have to live with the fact that you're going to be inconvenienced on occasion. If NV Energy says that you're going to lose power for 24 hours, leave town. Just go down and hang out in Vegas for 24 hours. Use that time to do something else. Complaining is not going to do any good. It's not going to change anything." So, NV Energy, this was just over the weekend. They said, "Hey, we're going to do this," and you feel bad for them, but that's kind of the price you pay. 470 people. They started the outage lasted until just after noon on Saturday, and so what happens. It does. What are you gonna do? Anyways, do I have time for one more announcement? I don't. Well, I'm glad you folks who are up in Mount Charleston got your power back, so we're very excited for you. Anyways, once again, tomorrow we're going to actually air the interview we had with Chris and his wife Suzette, the Demarys, who are the owners of GNC. Fantastic couple, great story that you've got to check out. So we'll air that tomorrow. Be sure to be there and let your friends know about it, because Chris, an impressive individual, his wife is even more impressive-er. He married up, and so you'll get to see that interview tomorrow. Okay, and we've got a lot of stuff coming on this weekend. Got the magazine coming out for July 1st, and so much more to go on, folks. I think you're going to enjoy all this stuff that we're going to be talking about. Anyways, folks, this has been Sherman Ray for Living in Vegas podcast. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, where we come to you Monday through Friday to talk to you about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks, for Living in Vegas podcast.